Welcome back to Digital Champions here on Daily Ad Brief. I'm Howard Walpoff, your host. Again, we're talking about digital marketing from around the country with great experts. And today we're in Charlotte, North Carolina with Colin Quaste from Know Your Worth Media. And Colin, welcome to our conversation today.
Hey, thank you, Howard. So glad to be here right now and talking digital marketing. It's my favorite topic.
Excellent. Well, we're glad to have you and really excited to learn more about how you got started in the industry. So why don't you share with us your origin story?
Yeah, pretty much. So I have always loved social media. I kind of did YouTube at a very young age and kind of continued doing that throughout college. And I kind of took my love for creating content and moving it more towards a marketing approach. So when I went to school, I went to East Carolina University in Greenville, North Carolina. I studied marketing. And with that, I had internships where I did social media and I really loved it. And it really sparked a passion in me. So I ended up going from my internship with the school and actually doing a full-time job with them. So right after graduation, I worked in the marketing sector of their dining program. And from there, I was really getting the experience with running ads for meal plans and really learning how to market and talk to people and using the power of social media to really drive awareness or action. So once 2020 happened and the pandemic started, I kind of took a little back burner with my job because I got furloughed and I started picking up on more skills to learn and acquire and kind of did my own little freelance approach. And to my surprise, people were actually really excited for me to help them with their marketing. And from there, I kind of just took it and I ran with it and I started my own agency where now we work with excuse me, we work with a bunch of different brands and businesses to help pretty much build their digital presence through content creation being the main thing, because I generally believe that people buy from the people and not the product itself. So it really depends on who's actually marketing the product.
Well, it's really great that you got all that background and information and education as you were evolving through to what you now provide for your clients. So when you're bringing on a new client, what kind of questions are you asking them as you're onboarding them about how to create their story online?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the biggest thing that I always like to know is what is their origin story? Okay, how did you get into business? Who is your target demographic? Who do you actually want to reach? And what are your goals for your business? And then we take that and we kind of create a strategy of how we can align their marketing efforts to see those goals. So whether or not it's getting new customers into the door or it's trying to promote one of their new services, we kind of really just want to hone in on who is their actual main target demographic and how are we actually going to use that tone of voice to talking with them. Is it a college student? Is it someone in their mid 40s? Is it someone who likes to work out? Is it someone who likes to stay at home all day and watch TV? How can we actually relate to them when creating content? Because the whole point of content that I always see, it's about community building. And you always want it to almost be when you read something online, I love what I'm wait a minute, are they speaking to me personally? That's one of the coolest things. So I always try to say that to my clients. I'm pretend you're only reaching one individual, one person when you're trying to communicate your message.
And that's really good advice. Just making sure that that message is nice and strong and vibrant for their target audience. Is there a specific platform that you enjoy most, you're seeing the most success for you and your clients?
Yeah, I honestly would say Instagram Reels, I think compared with TikTok, I feel like Instagram Reels, you have a better chance of hitting the algorithm as opposed to TikTok. I feel like everyone's on TikTok. Everyone's trying to be on TikTok. So Reels kind of went on the wayside. So if you just create some good content, you can end up getting into the Instagram algorithm and getting good amount of views that hopefully generate, whether or not that be new sales or followers. I always like to say this to my clients whenever they onboard with Know Your Worth Media. We don't gain you followers. It's not rapid growth, right? That's just not realistic. You can't go from 0 to 100,000 followers overnight. I mean, if you do, that's really great. But when we're gaining new followers, we're hoping that they become lifelong customers with you. So you might gain maybe 15 followers in a month, but that might equate to 3 sales. And in the end of the day, revenue is really what matters for a business to keep going. So we really don't like to stick with follower count. And I say the same with like the KPIs. I think with KPIs, we don't really necessarily look at likes and followers as much as we look at reach and also comments. Like, what are the conversations within the video? Like, is it something that's relatable? Are people wondering? Are people having more questions? Because the greatest thing is when someone asks another question, that's just another way for us to spin more content.
And it makes a lot of sense. It really is a clear message that you are sharing with them, and a clear way to get that message out as well. So we thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us as well. You really need to have the right people behind you to make sure your story is getting out there, your message is getting placed in the right place, and to have the knowledge that being on Reels is something that might have been overlooked by other companies, but you're getting your opportunity to shine and get the results you're looking for. So that's why you need to know more information about Colin and Know Your Worth Media. There's more information here in Daily Ad Brief, so please check that out. But go out and have a great rest of today, and I'll see you next time on Digital Champions.